In the dark corridors of my life, a chilling tale began with an unexpected gift, a seemingly innocuous present of vintage photograph of a human eye, encased in a golden frame would unravel a series of horrifying events. This is my story, a harrowing journey into the unknown, where an ancient curse embedded in the eye turned my ordinary existence into a nightmarish ordeal. We received the package on an overcast Tuesday afternoon. The plain brown box had no return address, and the unremarkable wrapping paper concealed a sinister secret. Inside, we found an old, ornate frame cradling a photograph of a single human eye. The eye, though beautifully detailed, seemed to hold a gaze that penetrated the very fabric of reality. The moment we set the frame on the mantelpiece, a shiver ran down my spine. It felt as though the eye was watching us, its pupils adjusting as if reacting to our movements. I dismissed my unease as mere paranoia, but that night, the first unsettling event occurred. I woke up to find the photograph tilted at an angle. The eye seemed to have shifted, now fixed directly at me. Over the next few days, strange things began to happen. Shadows moved in my peripheral vision, and I would catch glimpses of figures that vanished when I looked directly at them. Objects in the house shifted positions, as if guided by an unseen hand. Each night, the gaze of the eye seemed to follow me, growing more intense with each passing hour. One evening, my daughter, Emily, came running into the living room, her face pale and her voice trembling. She had seen a figure in the hallway, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The eye in the photograph seemed to pulse in response to her fear. That night, I found the photograph on the floor, cracked and splintered as if something had violently attempted to escape from within it. As days turned into weeks, the occurrences escalated. My wife, Sarah, began to suffer from terrifying nightmares, each one more vivid and distressing than the last. The eye, always present in our home, seemed to feed off our growing dread. We tried to remove the photograph, but it reappeared in the same spot, as if defying any attempt to escape its curse. Desperate, we sought the help of a paranormal investigator. He examined the photograph and performed rituals to cleanse our home. Despite his efforts, the disturbances only grew worse. The eye seemed to manifest in different forms, reflections in mirrors, shadows in the corner of our eyes, and even as a dark, pulsating spot on the wall. The final straw came when my son, Alex, vanished. He was last seen playing in the living room, where the photograph was prominently displayed. We searched for him frantically, but he was nowhere to be found. The only clue left behind was the photograph, now bearing a deep, unsettling crack through the eye. The investigation into Alex's disappearance led to dead ends, and the authorities could find no trace of him. The eye, now a haunting symbol of our loss, remained in our home, a constant reminder of the terror that had befallen us. The curse of the photograph had claimed its final victim. To this day, the photograph still hangs in our home, a dark and twisted relic of our past. The eye's gaze never wavers, forever fixed on those who dare to look. It is a silent, unyielding witness to the horror that unfolded, a chilling reminder of the price we paid for our encounter with the malevolent force trapped within its depths. The final days in our home were marked by an eerie, almost palpable tension. We could no longer distinguish between reality and the distortions wrought by the cursed eye. The once familiar comfort of our home had become a prison of dread. One evening, as I sat alone in the living room, I felt a sudden, chilling draft. The frame of the cursed photograph began to rattle violently on the wall, as if something inside was trying to break free. I approached it with trembling hands, trying to steady it, but my efforts were in vain. The eye seemed to pulsate with a dark energy, and I could hear a faint whispering coming from it, barely discernible, yet profoundly unsettling. Determined to end this torment, I decided to destroy the photograph. I retrieved a hammer from the toolbox and raised it above the frame, my heart pounding with a mix of fear and resolve. As I brought the hammer down, the room was filled with a blinding flash of light, and a deafening noise erupted. I staggered back, disoriented and covered in dust. When the light subsided, the photograph was gone. In its place was a perfectly intact wall, unmarred by the previous presence of the frame. I searched frantically for any sign of the photograph or its remains, but found nothing. It was as if the cursed eye had vanished entirely, taking with it the nightmares and the malevolent force that had plagued us. In the weeks that followed, the disturbances ceased. Our home slowly returned to normal, though the absence of the photograph left a lingering sense of unease. We had no way of knowing if the curse was truly gone, or if it had simply retreated into the shadows, waiting for the next opportunity to strike. The disappearance of the photograph also meant that we could no longer seek closure or understand the full extent of what had happened. The mystery of the eye, with its unblinking gaze, remained an unanswered question, a dark chapter in our lives that would forever haunt us. Though the photograph was no longer with us, the experience left an indelible mark on our family. The fear and uncertainty that had consumed us were replaced by a somber realization of the unknown forces that might lie just beyond the edge of our understanding. We moved on with our lives, but the shadows of that cursed eye lingered in our memories, a chilling reminder of the inexplicable horror that once watched over us.